All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're digging into a project that claims it's solving one of the oldest headaches in crypto. How do you actually use your digital coins to, buy a coffee? The sources we've looked at suggest this one could be a real game changer. So, let's start with a problem that I'm sure many of you have felt. You've got crypto, you see its value, but trying to use it for groceries or dinner? It's a whole thing. There's this huge gap between the assets in your digital wallet and just living your everyday life. And this slide really breaks it down, right? On one side, you have crypto today, which our sources describe as kind of isolated, often way too complex, and bogged down by slow transfers and confusing fees. The goal, the dream, is the complete opposite. A world where spending your crypto is as easy and instant as tapping a debit card. So what's the fix? Well, the solution presented in our source material is a project called Digtap, and it's built around this concept they call an Omni-Bank. So what on earth is an Omni-Bank? According to the reports, think of it as a single, unified app that acts as a bridge. The whole idea is to let you manage and spend your regular money and your crypto side by side without any of the usual friction. And here's where it gets really interesting, because these features are super practical. We're not talking about some abstract DeFi protocol here. The sources point to things you can actually use, like physical Visa debit cards, integration with Apple Pay and Google Pay, and instant swaps between crypto and cash. Oh, and one report even mentions the ability to open offshore accounts with no ID. Okay, so that's the platform. But what about the engine that makes this whole ecosystem run? Let's talk about the TAP token itself. First thing you need to know, tokenomics. The sources are really clear on this. There's a hard cap, a fixed supply of 2 billion TAP tokens. That's it. No more will ever be created, which is a design specifically meant to fight off inflation down the road. Now check out how those 2 billion tokens are split up. You can see a big slice, 44%, is set aside for the presale. But here's a detail the sources really zeroed in on, the team's share. It's reportedly just 1% of the total, and it's locked up for 5 years. That's a move you see when a project wants to signal it's in this for the long haul. This is where the economic model gets really cool. The platform has this built-in deflationary burn mechanism. So every time a transaction happens, a little piece of the fee is used to automatically buy back TAP tokens from the market, and then poof, they're permanently destroyed. The goal here is to reduce the supply over time, which can create scarcity. Okay, you're going to want to listen to this because this next section is where the claims outlined in our sources get really bold. Analysts cited in these articles are drawing a direct comparison between TAP and the early days of one of the biggest tokens in crypto history. And here it is, a direct headline from Cryptopolitan that just lays it all out there. They're basically framing the argument that getting into $TAP at its pre-sale price could be like getting into Binance's BNB token when it was just $10. That's a huge statement. So what's the logic here? How can they make that kind of comparison? Well, it all boils down to one word: utility. BNB exploded because it gave massive utility to crypto traders on the Binance exchange. The argument being made is that TAP is trying to do the same thing, but for a much bigger audience, everyday spenders in the real world. And that bold comparison leads to some pretty eye-popping numbers. We're talking about analysts cited in multiple sources who are forecasting a potential 100x growth for this token. Now, and this is absolutely crucial to remember, this is an analyst forecast. It's their projection based on their models. It's not a crystal ball. So for anyone wondering how this whole thing gets off the ground, let's quickly walk through the pre-sale mechanics as they're described in the reports. According to the data in our sources, the pre-sale has already picked up some serious steam. We're seeing over $1.7 million raised and more than 108 million tokens sold. This kind of early interest is often presented as a key sign of what the market is thinking. Now, the process for getting involved, as it's described, is a pretty standard 4-step deal for anyone who's been in the crypto space. You set up a wallet like MetaMask, get some funds in there, connect to the official site, and then just confirm your purchase. And here's the slide a lot of you were probably waiting for: the price. You can see the presale has different stages, with the price going up a little bit each time. The key thing the reports highlight is the difference between the current price and the planned listing price on exchanges, which is set at 14 cents. Okay, but is it legit? To build trust, the project is pointing to a few key things. Our sources say the app is already live, which is a big deal. It's a try before you buy kind of approach. The platform is also described as being Visa-backed and, importantly, has gone through security audits by third-party firms like Solid Proof and CoinSoul. So, when you strip everything else away, here's the central claim. The whole mission, according to everything we've read, is to take these two separate fragmented worlds, crypto and traditional banking, and finally smash them together into one simple app that just works. And that leaves us with one last big question to think about. We've seen so much hype and speculation in crypto over the years, but could this be the key? Is tangible, real-world, everyday utility the thing that will finally unlock mass adoption for everyone? And before we sign off, our usual disclaimer. Remember, this is all for informational purposes. It is absolutely not financial advice. All this information was put together from publicly available sources, and you should always do your own research before making any decisions. Thanks for tuning in.